Good morning, ultimate hustlers and digital empire builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today I got another wonderful show lined up for you. We're talking all things marketing, impact, and of course, income. And I got a very special guest on with me today. Miss Brittany Raji Alberty is going to be dropping some gems on you about how you can build a business, how you can do marketing in the 21st century, make an impact and make a significant income all at the same time with less effort. So I'm here for this conversation. Y'all know I geek out on all things marketing. And when I get a chance to talk to another dynamic marketer, y'all know that I'm going to be licking my chops. So it's about to go down. So here's what we're going to do. I need you to do me a huge favor. Comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. Smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it this morning. Yo, what's up, ultimate hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Monetize My Life Academy studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're looking for a community of entrepreneurs, if you're looking for tools, templates, resources, training, and support on your journey, especially if you're trying to bring your business online, then you got to check out monetizemylifeacademy.com. You can start for $1 for the first 7 days. And if you like it, hang out with us. And I promise you, you've never gotten this much support to help you build, grow, or scale a business that you're going to get from Monetize My Life Academy. So check that out. Make sure you comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. Today, we got another amazing episode. We're talking marketing, impact, and income with Brittany Raji Alberty, an amazing marketer in her own right. So I can't wait to have this conversation. She's doing some amazing things. Going to help you get your mind right, get your skill set right, and then even offer some tools to help you build a bigger, more robust, more authoritative brand. But before that, a couple quick announcements, really just one. Y'all, the Facebook group is lit. Go to facebook.com/groups/digital empire builders worldwide. We had so much fun. We dropped our training on how to use PLR content, how to rebrand it, how to package it, how to search for it, what to look for, how to use. Man, like we do this every single week. So if you need to be part of a community that's really helping entrepreneurs grow, especially grow online, then that's our free Facebook group called Digital Empire Builders Worldwide. Check that out. Great opportunity to network with other entrepreneurs, but also get the support you need, man. Sometimes entrepreneurship can be lonely because people just don't get us, right? Remember, only 5% of the people on this planet are operating in entrepreneurship versus 95% don't have a clue about what we're doing, why and how we're doing it, and just don't understand. So you need a community to be part of, man. And that's a great group to join. So we're not going to belabor the moment, man. I'm excited to talk to this young lady. I've been hearing such good things from her in and throughout the St. Louis marketplace. And I am excited to have a conversation with her. So we're going to introduce to some of you guys and present to others, Madam Brittany Raji Alberty. So good morning, sis. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well today. How about you?
I'm doing extremely well, better now that you're on and I get to hear what's all the fuss about. What is Brittany doing? And why am I just now hearing this name? So real quick, before we get started, Brittany, and get into your story and who you are and how you got this thing started, we start every episode of the Cortez Hustle Show with a quote of the day. That's why I'm going to share a quote. And you can either give your thoughts on this quote or you can share one of your favorite quotes as well. So let's get into the quote of the day. And my quote says this: don't chase passive income, chase passive impact, and passive income will chase you. And that's from brother Ben X, another dope marketer. So do you want to comment on that quote or do you want to share one of your own?
I love that one. Shout out to Brother Ben X. Definitely visionary leader. I believe that all things that are successful first did something very powerful, which is being impactful and then cause traction. So the more impactful that you are, the more powerful you have and leverage to build, community, and then community turns into commerce. So I think that quote is everything.
Yeah. Love it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Brittany Raji Alberty version. So I ask everybody that comes on the show, Brittany, this one question, so you don't get to escape it. I'm going to ask it to you, and the question is this: who the heck are you?
Ooh, so first and foremost, I'm a child of God.
All right.
I'm David's wife. I'm Amara's mommy, third generation entrepreneur. Definitely tied to my community and missions. And I'm just a woman here trying to use all of what God gave me to make a world a better place. That's who I am.
I love that. Some people get that confused in the using all that God made you or created you to be to make the world a better place. Let's go back in your history, right? Were you born and raised in the Loop?
I am. So born and raised here, 1990s baby. I did move away in my early 20s. I moved to California, I moved to Charlotte, and I came back home a little bit before the pandemic, but I grew up in North County, St. Louis. And my grandmother was one of the first Black women to own her home in Jennings. A lot of my family, now that I realize I grew up in a very privileged situation, but compared to our counterparts, still disadvantaged. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And we tend to fall into a place where we will compare ourselves with average versus comparing ourselves with excellence. And when you compare yourself with average, it is very easy to be head and shoulders above everybody else if they're average and below average. But the comparison should be to excellence and not average. So third generation entrepreneur, right? So walk us through some of that elementary, middle school, Brittany. I'm aware of what entrepreneurship is. Did you realize it was in your blood? Did that cause you to be and act a little bit differently than everybody else around you because you had a different mindset?
For sure. So I didn't realize I was a third generation entrepreneur until I moved to California, and I'll get a little bit further into that. But there was 6-year-old Brittany who seen this Barbie on TV right before Christmas, and my mom was a single mom. My dad stepped in when he wanted to, so my mom was like, "We can't afford that." That was the first time I ever heard that word, and I still flinch at the word afford. I hate that word. So 6-year-old Brittany went in her room and gathered up all the toys that she didn't want anymore and went outside and sold them. And I had enough money for not only the Barbie and the car. So when you say innately, like, entrepreneurship and that hustle was automatically in me, and then being that girl would go by to the dollar store, buy a pack of gum, and then sell it back. I automatically knew how to do these things at a very early age, you know. So innately, it definitely was in me.
Yeah, I love that. And that's sometimes that is misunderstood by parents or guardians or caregivers who just don't have that in them. And sometimes it can be shunned. So did mom do anything to encourage that as young Brittany was out there hustling, becoming the penny candy lady at school and all that stuff?
I would say they didn't know how to feed it. They didn't discourage me from it, but often with people, which led me to self-discovery to figure out why am I like this? Why do I do these things, right? But my dad was an entrepreneur. My grandmother was an entrepreneur, you know, and my grandparents were entrepreneurs, and their parents were slaves, you know. So it was, you know, that wave of connection where I had to go to that self-discovery. I must say everyone around me fed me the traditional dream. Oh, you got to go to school, get a good job. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. So I did take the traditional track all the while side hustling on the side. Like, I'm selling jewelry, I'm doing hair. You know, my house was always popping. And I don't even know why I had such a desire. At 16, on the weekends, everybody from Jennings would be in my house getting their hair braided, you know? So those kind of things were just part of the journey, I believe.
Yeah, and some people have it in them, and I like to say the question is, are entrepreneurs born or made? And I believe that they're all born, because from birth, if you think about what entrepreneurship is, an entrepreneur is someone who gets paid to solve a problem. For your whole life, since you were born, you have been getting maybe not paid, but a payout for solving a problem, right? You were hungry. How did you solve that problem as a baby? You cried. What was the payout? I got a bottle. I got fed. Your diaper was soiled. That was a problem. How did you fix that problem? You cried. You created a fuss. And what was the payout? Somebody came and changed that diaper. So we've all got it in us. But to understand it in the commerce world and the business world is something altogether different. So coming up through Jennings, right? And I got to tell you that I'm a Wilson Trojan. So I remember playing you guys a couple times and jumping on y'all. You know, y'all Kelly Thames was the guy back then. But nevertheless, getting through high school, and you said you followed that traditional path. What school did you end up going to, and what did you study early on?
So, well, and part of my story, I went to 12 different schools by the time I graduated college. So I got kicked out of school my junior year for fighting, just being around the wrong people that didn't understand where I was moving to. So around the recession of 2008, my mom was in the midst of losing her home. And I remember working all summer to make sure that we stayed afloat. Like, that summer was just so crazy. Like, our air conditioner went out. That was also the summer right before the Good Friday storm. Like, it was just so much stuff, a catastrophe that whole year. And as 16, 17-year-old Brittany, I didn't know how to articulate that life was just hard. You know, so I retreated from some of my friends, and then it's so important. Environment is so important to be around people where they can just pick up on things. So sometimes you don't know how to articulate, you know, certain things when you're going through it. So as a result of that, I got kicked out of school. I ended up getting my GED a year later and grandparent into the University of Harrisville State University. And beautiful transition. I will say, I think getting kicked out of school saved my life. Because I was put in a different environment where I was the youngest person in my GED class, and I seen what would happen to me if I had not prioritized education, not schooling, but education.
Yeah. Important to make that distinction, because that is the excuse that a lot of people in my generation have. Well, life was hard and I didn't go to college, or I couldn't go to college. And I tell everybody that, I went, and I dropped out after second semester, but I officially checked out after the second week. I was like, this is not the jam for me, right? But that did not stop me from valuing knowledge and education and information. And we live in an age where all of that is right at our fingertips, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So self-taught in a lot of things. YouTube University is a real place. Drive Time University is a real place. I rarely have my radio on. I'm usually listening to a podcast or something to learn and grow. So when you came through that and you started to realize, okay, education is one thing, but this knowledge piece, I've got to get a hold to as much of it as possible. What was it like when you came out of school into the workforce, or did you go straight entrepreneurship from college?
So in college, I was still at hairstyle. I was selling knockoff handbags out my trunk, bringing it to the girls at school. The Clay Center had just opened, so I worked on campus in a daycare center. I actually was part of the inaugural I don't want to say cohort, but they had started the pre-law club, and I came up with the pre-law week theme. And so the marketer started to emerge in me. And one of my close friends, we're still close right now, she said, you should be the officer of PR. I'm like, what's PR? You know, at the time, Hairstyle didn't have like an entrepreneurship program, or like really even, they had the business school, but I didn't know what that was, right? Like I didn't know like all these things we know of entrepreneurship and but I didn't know what those things were. So on campus, I had a million hustles. Like, you know, I was that person. I figured out when people trust me and I figured out what they wanted, that I could make money. You know? So I end up like after pre-law week went amazing. I just the adrenaline rush of seeing something that I imagined in my head coming to fruition. I was like, I gotta feed this. So I end up transferring to the community college. And then when I say, like I said, like I've been in a very privileged situation. At every campus, I got the opportunity to work in admissions or get a student and get paid, you know what I'm saying, to learn. And people took me under their wings. So you know how they say like luck or luck is a part of the process. The consistency, whether the luck or the blessing, whatever you believe, meets you, it just really breeds a amazing opportunity. So get into a community college, did more things on campus. Like it's again just feeding this like, you know how people are saying, manifestment, you know, all these other things, or you see these, but when you see something that literally was a vision and you start putting it into play, like you know it's a part of your calling. Like it's like, how do I do more of this? You know, so graduated from there, and then I ended up going to UMSL because they had a joint program. Graduated with my bachelor's in communication and a certificate of PR. But what happened was the industry was changing, where social media was coming into play, and we had all these retired people from Deloitte and Fleshman Hillard that they didn't know nothing about this. So as I'm going through school, I graduated 2015, May of 2015. They couldn't teach us anything that was on the horizon. So this is why I say you have to be addicted to education. A lot of people are feeling like they're going to go get this piece of paper and it's going to be all good and you're going to get the opportunity. But I had to become an entrepreneur because one, the schooling that I invested $40,000 plus didn't prepare me for the work that I'm doing right now.
And that's huge to help people to recognize that, because colleges are institutions, they are businesses. And here's my two gripes with college, right? And people always say, well, you say that because you didn't get a degree. It's not that, because I evaluate information and data. And the way college is sold to young people as if it's a guaranteed way to success, and often sold as it's the only way to success. Take that away from college. There's a lot of good things that can happen on a college campus. A lot of the networking and a lot of the relationship building and starting something and finishing it, all of that is great. But when you sell it to me as if I go into this $80,000 worth of debt, I'm going to come out and I'm going to be guaranteed to be successful, I think that's a pipe dream. I can't get with that. And when you sell it as if it's the only way, you never mention entrepreneurship, you poo-poo on trade schools and blue collar work and all of that kind of stuff. I'm like, that just never set right with me. So to hear you say that as an institution, they were already behind. Yeah, think about it. It took them 10 years to make the decision to bring social media into the university as a curriculum, right? We are 10 years in and y'all just thinking about teaching it. Y'all still ain't staffed for it. Y'all just thinking about like so that institution is slow. And with entrepreneurship, especially as a small business, you have the ability to be nimble. So when you realize that you needed to do and get this education on your own and continue to be a sponge, what was that process and where did you go from there when you got out of school?
Well, if I could backtrack just a little bit, what I did learn about college is I learned how to finish. Getting my GED was learning how to finish. I think that's a very valuable skill that everyone needs to have, especially entrepreneurs. Sometimes you need to learn when to fold, and then sometimes you need to learn when to finish. And as a marketer, people expect for results to come fast. So going through college, I learned how to prioritize things, how to schedule, and how to finish. So that was the biggest, and that's a valuable lesson. I feel like it was worth $40,000 because I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. First generation college graduate. So, but third generation entrepreneur. So, segue into what you originally coming into. I'm sorry, what was your original question? Let me not segue.
So then coming out of college and continuing to learn on your own, did you go straight into the workforce and continue to learn and grow and develop your skills, or did you go right into business for yourself?
Both. So my senior year at college, I had started Beauty Impact, which is still a brand I actually sold last year. It was a product-based business where I imported goods from Africa. I started that my senior year, and then also 3 years before graduation, I got my first job offer, and I took it. I started working in March of 2015. I graduated in May, which was super hard. I don't know why I did that to myself, but young and ambitious, and I ain't had no kids yet. So, did that. And my first position was called Transitions Coordinator, and I also ran the volunteer program. So people around me often could see where my strengths were and pull me into these, positions. So I worked there for a year, and then I went to Africa in 2015, Christmas of 2015. So not even a full year. When I went to Africa, something clicked in me. My first husband was Nigerian. I grew up around Africans. I used to braid in the shop when I was younger. So I was always really immersed into the culture, But when I went, I seen handicapped people that couldn't walk out in the street selling stuff. You know what I'm saying? I seen we got there 5 a.m. 2 days before Christmas, and I seen a woman who was pregnant. She had another baby strapped to her back, and then she had a basket of water, selling water at 5 a.m. And I think all of the excuses that I had before, I think I really embrace my hustle even more. I'm like, dang, they getting it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? They don't have social security or disability. They don't have all of these things. It's really, and I also just noticed how it was one day when we went to the beach on Victoria Island, and it was a privately owned beach, but they let the public come into it, but they didn't invest into the infrastructure. Even though Victoria Island is fairly developed, but the beach wasn't. It was really dirty. And our car got stuck in the sand, and out of nowhere it was these young boys, they came and they dug the car up. It was everything that, how sometimes we get in the way of life get in the way. They found a way to make stuff happen. It was the first time where every excuse that I ever had wasn't good enough no more. Yeah.
That right there, that part right there. And it's so important to travel to see that, because like you said, there is no excuse in America, even with racism, systemic racism, and everything that is stacked against us. We are still in one of the greatest positions to be in on this planet, with all of the opportunities that's afforded to us if we do what you did, was get out and hustle, do what you saw. You saw people get out and get it, irregardless to their current state. So we're going to continue this discussion, but we got to do one of my favorite segments, Brittany. It's a segment that I call 1 minute motivation. That's where I share a short motivational clip, usually 60 to 90 seconds or so, and I'll ask you to give your takeaways, and I'll give a couple of takeaways. So let's get into some 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
The world is a dynamic place. The world is changing. If you're not changing along with it, you're probably being left behind. People who don't want to work, they don't want to contribute value. I'm just going to speak bluntly here, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm disgusted by it. I'm really disgusted by people that are giving into that biological inclination to minimize time and effort. Do you guys get it that our biology tells us to maximize value, and minimize time and effort? Why do people say like the 7-minute abs? You know what I'm saying, right? 7-minute abs. You know, because again, that appeals to the masses, their desire to minimize time and effort. So I looked at a lot of people that I viewed as failures, and big signs of failures to me were people who did not have a rational paranoia about failure. In fact, many people I know who are very well versed in self-development are the worst little parroters of this bullshit that everything will work out for the best, and they have forgotten the component of taking action. They have forgotten the component of rational paranoia that you will fucking fail if you do not take action.
Hoo-wee. Now, Brittany, I did not plan that, and I didn't know we would be talking about lack of hustle before that 1-minute motivation came on, but it just all worked out. And I'll tell you, the reason I love this so much is because we all just listened to the same clip, but based on where we are in life, we all heard something very different. So what did you hear, sis?
Like going back to 20, like it's really about what you make, like your mental, like the only limitations that you have are the ones that you put on yourself. That's what I heard. That's the only limitation you have.
Yeah. And the word hack, there's a life hack, there's a real estate hack, there's a school hack. All of this stuff lends to the lazy person inside of all of us that says there's a shortcut, there's an easy way out, you can get around or avoid the work. And I'm here to tell you people that there is no such a thing, right? You've got to do the work. The only way that you can somewhat shortcut, but that's a shortcut, is not circumventing the work. It's taking a shorter path. And the only way you can do that is through mentorship, right? So you get a mentor, they're going to help you avoid some roadblocks, but you still got to do the work, people. I don't care what it is that you're trying to do. You're not getting away from doing the work. I have a saying that I say quite often on this show, Brittany, and it goes like this: do or don't do, but don't not do and complain.
Ooh.
That bugs the heck out of me, right? If you don't like something, I'll listen to you complain while you're doing something about it. But if you're not doing anything about it, then I don't think you've earned the right to complain about it either, right? That's just me. There's a lot of things that are in our control, but we won't do anything about them other than complain. And I can't be around people who love to complain like that. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is 1-minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show with Brittany Raji Alberty. We were talking about the hustle and your trip to Africa and how that showed you a different perspective of the grind and the hustle. And when you don't have a safety net, like an ability to go almost anywhere in the country and just get a job, or the ability to have Social Security take care of you, or welfare or something like that, when you don't have no safety net, you figure out how to get out and get it. So coming back from Africa, what did you do there?
One saying that everyone kept saying all around Lagos was, there's no food for the lazy man. So that just kind of like penetrated my heart. When I came back, I was just like on fire. That same year, like I had 2 jobs, and then I launched my showroom. In the midst of that, I had so many different like lead generation events, and I figured out a formula of building community around the things that I was launching. So everything that I did in 2016, I was able to build an audience around it, and that audience in turn became brand advocates. So that's when, like, I think that year, it became apparent that, I could, whatever I put together, I can make it soar when it's in alignment, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But also that same year, like I just had a bunch of devastating blows. And that's why I think that people, again, like those excuses in life, I think you asked me like at first, like, hey, like, why haven't I heard of you? So when I moved away in 2017 and went to the Bay, like I just was in a bunch of turmoil in my first marriage. And a lot of that made me shrink down because again, if home is not okay, nothing else is gonna be okay. No matter how much people try to make it seem like one thing. So coming back, you know, I did so many amazing things in California, went through my first accelerator, got funded through Kiva, raised like $7,000 in like a few days. Like I was on fire, but my personal life was falling apart. So anytime I started to have traction, it was like a downward spiral because here's the thing. I think that we don't talk about enough in entrepreneurship, and in life, that if you're connected to the wrong people, anything that you do will begin to sabotage because there's some people who have sabotaging behaviors that you might not see a correlation to, oh, people are threatened. They don't like some people, they're uncomfortable with seeing other people elevate in certain areas. We can be cool as long as so like that was my life for a few years, even though I had some amazing spikes and did some opportunities, it started to mess with my self-esteem.
Gotcha.
You know? Yeah.
And that could be hard. And we don't, one of the challenges of moving away from people that don't mean you any good or people you've outgrown or whatever, and I say this often, is the fact that some of the people that Steve Harvey had this talk and he said something, his dad told him something very profound. He said, everybody that came with you can't go with you. And I started to realize that, but here's the challenge. When you come to that realization and you start to grow in a different direction, it's incredibly hard because some of the people you have to grow away from are people who are there with you during your darkest moments. Right. Some of those people that you are outgrowing literally help you battle some of your toughest fights in life. So it's not easy to just up and walk away. You want to play the hero. You want to put them on your back and like, no, there's greener pasture. Just come on, sis, I got you. Come on, bro, let's do this. And that ain't what they see for themselves. That ain't what they want for themselves. So it just becomes one of those things where you have to continue to elevate and know that there's other people at those higher levels waiting on you. And they're ready to partner with you and lock arms with you and help you continue to finish the race. So got back to St. Louis from California, made it through that turbulence, right? Came out on the other side stronger. Now what?
So I went to Charlotte first, and then I came back to St. Louis. I was tired of my existing business model. So I had this product-based business, had all of these retail distributors. I had 5 retail partners in 3 cities. I had started moving into like wholesale and actually helping museums fill out their gift shops. I had a lot of great opportunities, but I realized, again, because I'm always a student and was educating myself, I realized what it was going to take this business to the next level where it was like fully self-sustaining. Like I didn't want to do it. Everybody that I've seen around me that had like their retail models, they were miserable, they were overworked, like, and that's where I came out of. So I was like, okay, if this is what it's not what I want to do, what is my exit strategy? So I started to like pray and meditate, and I actually met one of my friends that was she was an e-commerce developer that worked at Facebook and Google when I lived in the Bay Area, and she kept telling me, because I would always do like mixers because people would come into my shops and they'd be like, well, how did you do this? So I by way was like always a coach. I just didn't know. Like people would come in and pick my brain. And I didn't really realize. I started to get bitter about it later. I'm like, dang, got a whole strategy and they employing it, not giving me like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not out of arrogance. But when people are masterminds and they come up with things that come up with ease, baby, give me my credit. So I started getting, I started getting bitter about that. Like people would come, pick your brain, use things, and never like give credit where credit is due. So I'm like, yo, this ain't it, guys. You know, like, and maybe that's some people that might come off like it's, you know, cocky or not humble, whatever it is. I wanted credit for the things that came to me. And then God had to tell me everything I give to you isn't for you. I'm like, okay. So with that being said, she had convinced me to do a course. And I was like, well, you know what, this could be like my legacy project. She built me out. So I spent like 3 months, this was before the pandemic. So 3 months into the summer, I wrote out everything that I had built, all of my partnerships, how I developed partnerships in Africa, from Ghana, you know, like everything. I literally put the blueprint of what took me at the time 5 years to build out. And I sent it over to her. She's like, Brittany, this is one of the most robust courses I'm ever making. And this is somebody who worked for Facebook and Google. She's like, you're giving so much information. Like, she's like, do you have an offer at the end? I'm like, no, I just want to be done with it. But I don't want, like, you know how you put so much into something? You're like, man, I can't just let this, you know, like I figured out something that wasn't here. So she's like, Brittany, you really need to look into becoming a coach. So she exposed me to traffic, sales, and profit. She bought the recording from Lamar Tyler's conference, and I heard Marco Russell speak for the first time. And something just snapped in me, man. It just snapped in me. I was like, yo, I've been working too hard, you know? So we finished the course. We launched the course. I only had like 5 people buy it. You know, it was like $1,000 offer. And I'm like, oh, what am I doing wrong? But in the midst of that, I again started leaning into that education that came from traffic, sales, and profit. And then boom, pandemic hit. So some of the things that I was reading in Lamar Tyler's book and stuff that I had studied over the years for SEO, I was getting a little traction online here and there, but what COVID did, it 10x all of the stuff that I had been preparing for years with my website. So I think like the first week of COVID, like I made like 7,000 or something. Like I'm like, what the heck? Like I don't make this in my job. You know, at the time I worked in a nonprofit. So I'm like, what's happening here? So I started looking into how this was happening, and I did a webinar. I'm like, y'all, this is how I made this money. And I just started coaching. So by way, I became a coach out of this situation. But I just want people to share like that trajectory. Sometimes, like, you know, when you make a decision, find out what it's going to take to live the life that you truly desire. It came from like, look, I don't like what's on the other side of what I'm building. It doesn't mean that I didn't like it. I didn't want to. So I felt like I had a little bit of identity crisis. And in the midst of that, I met a lot of business coaches and got into communities and had like a better sense of like, oh, like this, I'm really a marketer. I never thought that I was a marketer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, to bring all that together, it was a combination of things, but it started with a decision. I'm like, yo, this isn't what I want to be. And I think a lot of people go into entrepreneurship to make money and not looking at a lot of us, we truly are building lifestyle businesses. Yeah.
And that's the part right there is, you know, people ask me to do things and I'm like, listen, man, there's got to be 3 things on the line if you want any of my time: passive income, residual income, or ownership. And we're not talking any of those things. And like, because I want to be able to travel the world with my family. I got 5 sons and they are young adults now. And every time I look at them, I only see the child in them. I'm like, I need to get to know these young men. But if I don't have the time to be in their presence and to sit down with them and do lunch and experience different things, I'll never get to know them. And you can't do that if you aren't building the right type of business, just point blank period. But the other thing that you did, and I think that a lot of people are missing, is you did the work along the way. See, a lot of people want to buy a course and then turn around and resell the information that they got from the course without doing the work. It's like, no, buy the course, do the work, and then sell your experience from doing the work, because that's what you did. You got a ton of experience of building retail businesses. You did the work. So you had receipts to then go and sell that information because you knew it worked, because you did it. Yeah. The other thing that I thought was incredibly impressive is you walked away. Like, how do you muster the courage to walk away from something that's quote unquote successful, even if that's not what you wanted? Because that would be the same thing as somebody walking away from a 6-figure job where they got it laid in the shade on the job. It's not stressful. It's just not what they want. So how did you muster the courage to walk away?
So I dived a lot into like personal development over the last 10 years. So we're reading a lot of books and mentoring, you know, all those things. And one of my mentors, and went into network marketing for a minute. Everybody else made money around me with me. Anyway, I learned something. Again, it was the education piece. And they said, always find out what is your why and how do you want to live, and then you build your life around it. And that stuck with me. So that happened like my senior year of college. And when I started looking, I'm like, okay, so what is the end of this look like? I went and found the person. Okay, if I'm going to do education, what is the and they was unhappy. If I'm going to do this, I started searching for what, and I couldn't find. So it took me 5 years to see all the things that I didn't want to see, but then God exposed me to community and people who were happy with them, and they had online, they had like a virtual experience. So I didn't realize that, again, like I said, like I said this earlier, I moved around a lot and went to 12 different schools and lived in a lot of different communities, but I didn't realize like God was always preparing me to live in somewhat of a virtual, like metaverse experience, that I'm supposed to reach the masses, that it's not tied to a zip code, it's not tied to a city, that it's much bigger. You know, so with COVID was a blessing for me, because I realized that I could reach I was shipping stuff out across the country, even though I had customers in Puerto Rico. I'm like, how do I have, it's like, I always see your Facebook Live. I didn't understand that the traction that I got with that brand, that I actually had a formula that would work for any business.
I love it. I love it. And being able to communicate with the world. You talked about community and being in the right places with the right people. I'm a big fan of Marquell. We were actually in the same MLM together at one point, right? Wow. And he's been on the show a couple times, and just understanding his way of doing business, that helped me to see what's possible, right? Because sometimes you just don't know what's possible, right? You can't believe that some of these guys are having $100,000 days, $1 million days, you know, double-digit million months and stuff like that. And once you see that it's possible, like they say, once you stretch a rubber band beyond its point, it can't go back, right? So your mind got stretched. Then you start figuring out the perfect business model for you and the lifestyle you want to create. You want to share a little bit about what that looks like for you today?
Yeah. So you know how they say like there's 7 degrees of separation from like, you know, certain things. I believe there's only one in my life. A lot of people that I grew up around, or I was exposed to at a young age, again, I'm gonna say it's Black privilege, because again, like I'm like leaning into it. So follow this with me. I was around people that I didn't realize that everybody didn't have the same experiences or the opportunities that I had. It was truly a miracle that I didn't go to jail for getting kicked out of school, like because it was a week away from my birthday and I had good relationships within my school. So instead, I got a GED and got grandparented into a university that's unheard of. Like I had a knife, you know what I'm saying? So that was privilege. It was also privilege that the year that, you know, we had the opportunity to launch, you know, the pre-law, and just a lot of it I see, it was definitely a lot, and it was privilege. So moving back to this, when I say 1 degree of separation, I started realizing, I'm like, oh, the only difference in between me and I know 4 people that I personally met 10, 15 years ago that are now millionaires. Person, 1 degree of separation. 1 degree of separation, right? I remember watching Marquell on Traffic Sales and Profit, and I started following him around online. And then just recently, my coach Jalen Jones did an event where I'm speaking on the same stage as Marquell Russell. The African American Association put me in the same category as Marquell Russell. I got to meet him, and I love Andre too. Shout out to Andre, powerful speaker, right? Don't know them like on a personal level, but being in the same room, I was shy to talk to him because I'm like, God, 1 degree of separation. I could see something, and again, vision is so important. So getting in a different environment, like when you have seeds, like all seeds won't grow in certain soil. So that's why you got to continue to plant and move and see things. I had a post that went viral earlier this year, and it was talking about Pinky Cole and Tabitha Brown. I said 4 years ago, Tabitha Brown was driving Uber, right? 4 years ago, Pinky Cole had just started the vegan brand, and things happen rapidly when you're in alignment. That's what the post was, and it went viral on social media. And I think so many people understand that a lot of us, we have all of the right things, we're just in the wrong timing. You might be too ahead of your time, or you might be in the wrong environment. So exposure, You know, that 1
Mm-hmm.
degree of separation. If somebody sent you a link to watch this podcast right now, know you're 1 degree separation from people who are connected directly to millionaires. Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. It's 1 degree of separation. So it's that decision and then getting yourself in over your head to be in the environment that makes you stretch.
Yeah, I follow another guy that I'm looking to get on the show in 2023. He's amazing, Nehemiah Davis.
I love Neo. Okay, go ahead.
And Neo said on David Shan's Social Proof podcast, I love David and you know Troy and Rashad and Angelija, all those guys, because they're laying a model for what I want to do. But on one of those episodes, he said something that alludes to what you're saying. He said, never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. And I said, crap. So this year alone, I've probably been in more local events in St. Louis than I have my entire life. Now, I've been in St. Louis since I was 9 years old, you know, off and on, for the most part, raised in St. Louis. And I've been to more business and networking and events trying to get in the right circles and meet the right people this year than I have in my entire life here in St. Louis. And to hear him say that is like, man, you never know who you're going to meet in these environments, but you decided not to show. So you miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. Yeah. So that's like, get in the right rooms, surround yourself with the right people, know when to say yes. And you're probably going to say yes a lot more frequently than no until you get to a certain level. And then there's times when you have to say no. But I love that. So we're going to get into my second favorite segment of the show. And I call this segment Freestyle, Brittany, because I know you got bars. Since you ain't born and raised in the Lou and you ain't got bars right now. No, freestyle is not about rhyme. And even though I can drop a beat if you need me to now. But no, it's not about that. So freestyle is the opportunity as I'm building this multi-billion-dollar international media conglomerate, starting with this podcast. I didn't go to school for this. I don't always ask the right questions. And the conversation doesn't always evolve to where we want it to go. So I do this freestyle segment to give you the opportunity to either A, reiterate something that you feel is really important that's worth saying again, or B, if we hadn't gotten to something that you really want to speak to the people about, to really speak from your heart in that regard too. So that's what freestyle is all about. So let's get into some freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Brittany Raji Alberty version. Hit them with your best bar, sis.
Yeah, so get used to being uncomfortable is one thing. And when I talk about rapid acceleration, I've developed my own program out of it. It's called Quantum. It's a digital marketing accelerator. And it's based off of my experiences from this last year. Like I said, I went from having a product-based business, walking away from it, selling my intellectual property, to becoming, one of the top marketers for the Black Marketing, Association. I won, a few awards this year, but that's the one that means the most to me because of the people that are in those categories, knowing that when you stand in it, again, when you're in alignment, things happen rapidly. So what I realized when I was teaching GED classes, 70% of the population is illiterate. And that means even like double the amount are digitally illiterate. So a lot of those people who are having issues right now in the pandemic is because they lack digital literacy. So get in position for that quantum leap to learn the basics. How do you read the insights? What is search engine marketing? How do we own the algorithm? We don't need to worry about what they're doing on the back end if you're being consistent. How do you build that muscle memory? How do you tell stories on social media that bring people to you? So quantum is all about getting people in line to learn the basics to rapidly accelerate in their business.
Boom. Drop the mic, ladies and gentlemen. Bars right there. I absolutely love that because in the world that I deal in, God gave me two very special gifts: creative genius and patience, right? And I didn't know patience was a gift until I really started working with people from all walks of life in this online world and realizing that some people just don't know. Like some people just don't have a clue. They've been uber successful over here, but you ask them to turn on a computer and it's a fish out of water experience and you have to have patience. I was like, oh, okay, God, I get it. That's why I'm so patient, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to do this type of work. right? Because people just don't know what they don't know, and they need to know it, and they need somebody to be patient with them to help them through it long enough to where they can realize the importance of it. Then they'll take it seriously. They'll put more time, energy, and effort into it. So I love that you have this quantum, get the basics down and understand that. Now you got a foundation, because as you know, when you're building something, the foundation is the longest, toughest part. But once that foundation gets in and it sets, man, I've watched construction people put up a whole house in 2 weeks. But the thing was sitting as a hole in the ground for 2 months while the foundation was waiting to set. So incredibly important to get that foundation right. So Brittany, my friend, this has been flat out dope and amazing. What you got on tap for 2023? You strike me as a person who probably got 2023 half mapped out, if not all the way. What you got?
Yeah, I would share my office with you. Like, oh, you got a sticky note problem. I'm super excited. I'm working with a few amazing organizations where I'll be a digital marketing coach on a larger scale for Black entrepreneurs. Quantum will be launching in February. I just got a contract locally to do 5 workshops with a local business center. I won't say that all the way because the ink ain't quite dry, if you know what I mean. But just super excited about putting myself in position, like you said, to not miss another opportunity. Like the things that definitely made the most impact was just being in a room and being myself. Like now I'm comfortable wearing my bright red lips and my blue hair, and even in corporate environments, because I know that if I can't be all of me, I don't want to be here anymore. I can't code switch anymore. I can't do all of those things, because at the end of the day, you need what I have. You know, and I want everybody to feel comfortable enough to be their authentic self in the spaces they are. I know you can still win. Success looks like us now. That's what Donnie Wiggins said on the Social Proof podcast. Success looks like us now, you know, so we get to be ourselves. We get to make the rules. And even if you've been in the social media, digital marketing space for a while and you haven't had traction, just know it's because you were ahead of your time. A lot of us, we have been ahead of our time, you know?
Yeah. And I think to your point, keep at it, y'all. Like you picked the right thing.
Yeah.
Now you just have to continue to show up, because I promise you, somebody is watching. You might not even know that they are watching, but they are, right? So keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And that authenticity piece, man, I listened to Eric Thomas talk about they want to give you $100,000, but they want you to show up in a suit. And he's like, I'm not showing up in a suit.
Yeah.
It's my t-shirt, it's my shorts, and it's my hat to the back, and we're going to get it. Like, if they don't want that, they don't want me, period. Yep. And to develop the strength and the courage to be able to walk away when someone wants anything other than who you really are is fire. It's dope. Tell everybody, Brittany, how can they connect with you? How can they follow, drop your social handles, any special offers, promos, anything you got going on that they need to know about? Now's your time.
Absolutely. So you guys can text 833-340-0037. You can text the word market and you'll get a free digital marketing masterclass, which is called Marketing Your Craft. That's my gift to you guys. Thank you, Cortez, for having me. And I wanted to gift that to your audience, that free masterclass. But you can also find me on every platform at the @market, the letter N, and motivate. Like Hustle and Motivate, with Marketing Motivate. I'm active on Instagram, mostly on LinkedIn now because I do more B2B, but that's where you can find me. And super responsive. Send me a DM and say you heard me on this show. You know, you never know. You never know.
1 degree of separation. Give me that number one more time.
Yep, it's 833-340-0037. The word market.
Market. All right. Y'all heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be hearing and seeing Brittany a lot more now that she's on my radar. I'm going to be stalking her, right? So anything that she's doing, y'all going to see her all up and down my timeline, because I love to share dope people doing dope things, right? Even if we are in similar lanes. Like, I understand that there is no competition. There's only collaboration. And when you understand how to work with people, then you can always have a place. You understand how to build an audience. You'll always be able to make money. you understand how to impact people's lives in a positive way, you'll always be welcome. And I see that's what you are doing very, very well. So kudos to you, young lady.
Thank you.
Thank
you for this space. I don't think you get your flowers enough, but your name been ringing bells in these streets all year. And I even just seen you on a Kansas City flyer for digital marketing something. I was like, okay, you better take over the whole show me. But thank you for making room, bringing other people in your space, right? Because there's some people who don't know of me who are going to learn of me here and be willing. Because when you have a mindset of abundance and you make space for other people, it always ripples back. So I'm looking forward to whatever the future holds and making sure I can return the favor in the future.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I heard her. Yeah, I heard her. We making waves and ripples around here. So that's going to do it for us here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Brittany, hang out with me for 1 second. We're going to dismiss class because class certainly was in session with you, young lady. So until we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.